Carson Hocevar just made the entire NASCAR garage turn against him. But fans think everyone's missing the real story. I'm standing on pit road. The engines are still hot. And I watch Bubba Wallace walk, not casually, not calmly, straight toward Carson Hocevar. Everyone around me stops talking. Crew members freeze mid-motion. Cameras swing toward the two men before either says a word. By the end of this weekend, one restart would turn into something much bigger than a crash. Carson Hocevar is not a name that needed an introduction before this season. A Talladega winner, a rising star, a driver known for racing without hesitation. But Fearless was about to cost him something. Inside the garage, patience with his aggressive style had already been running thin before Michigan ever happened. Competitors had noticed a pattern. Team officials had noticed a pattern. And when Michigan arrived, that pattern reached a breaking point. What started as a routine restart at Michigan International Speedway became something no one expected. A chain reaction tore through the field, catching Wallace, Ty Gibbs, Denny Hamlin, Tyler Reddick, and Zane Smith in the chaos. Cars scattered across multiple lanes. Sheet metal crumpled within seconds. What began as a single move by Hocevar turned into a multi-car incident that ended several drivers' afternoons before the race had a chance to develop. That chain reaction is exactly what brought Wallace across pit road afterward, the confrontation the entire garage watched unfold in real time. If you're new to NASCAR Track Report, we're closing in on 500 subscribers, and this channel is built entirely on breakdowns like this one, the moments other channels gloss over but we actually dig into. Your support is what allows us to keep bringing stories like this one to you every week, so if you haven't already, hit subscribe, drop a like, and leave a comment telling us where you stand on this one. It genuinely helps this channel grow. The reaction inside the garage did not stay contained to one confrontation. This is where the real tension of the story lives, not in a single pit road moment, but in a growing divide between what fans want to see and what competitors are willing to tolerate. Multiple drivers have voiced frustration with Hocevar's style over recent weeks, and that frustration has been mounting rather than appearing all at once. Joey Logano was among those who spoke up, and his comments cut at something larger than just one race. He didn't hide his frustration, pointing out that fans today are celebrating the exact kind of driving that would have gotten a driver torn apart by both media and competitors in past NASCAR eras. It's a pointed observation, the sports culture has shifted, and what once would have ended a career now builds a following. That shift has created what can be described as a reputation snowball effect around Hocevar. Every new incident is now judged more harshly because of what came before it. A move that might have been dismissed as a racing incident for another driver gets read differently when it involves someone the garage already views with suspicion. There is no evidence that drivers are formally organizing against him, no meetings, no coordinated statements, nothing on record suggesting a deliberate campaign. But perception alone is doing damage regardless of whether that coordination exists. In a garage built on trust and repeated interactions, being labeled a problem driver changes how every future incident gets interpreted, whether that label is fully earned or not. On the other side of this divide sits a fan base that has responded to all of this with the opposite reaction. Where drivers see recklessness, fans see authenticity. Timelines filled with support for Hocevar in the days following Michigan, with many pointing to his willingness to race hard as exactly what the sport has been missing. The argument from this side is straightforward. Modern athletes across every sport are criticized for being scripted, cautious, and image-conscious, and Hocevar represents the opposite of that. Fans defending him describe a driver who refuses to hold back, who races the way earlier generations of NASCAR drivers used to race before the sport became more calculated. That contrast, between a garage frustrated by unpredictability and a fan base energized by it, is the tug-of-war defining this entire story. Beyond the drivers and the fans, there's a third layer to this that rarely gets discussed directly: the business consequence. No sponsor has issued a public statement about Hosvar's driving style. No team executive has gone on record criticizing him. But that silence doesn't mean no one is watching. Sponsorship decisions, team alignments, and long-term driver contracts are built on reputation as much as raw performance, and incidents like Michigan get noticed in boardrooms even when they don't get addressed publicly. The stakes here extend past who wins or loses a single race. They touch the business relationships that determine whether a young driver's career accelerates or stalls. Zoomed out, this isn't really a story about one driver anymore. It's a story about what kind of sport NASCAR wants to be going forward. There's a long-standing, unwritten respect code that has governed the garage for decades, an understanding among competitors about where the line sits between hard racing and reckless racing. Against that code sits a newer entertainment-driven culture, one where aggression draws viewership, social media engagement, and a younger fan base that wants unpredictability over restraint. Hosvar has become the flashpoint for that exact conflict, whether he intended to be or not. This is also where the self-sustaining nature of a reputation becomes visible. Once a driver is viewed as a problem, every subsequent restart, every close call, every aggressive pass gets watched through that lens. A move that would draw no attention from another driver becomes headline material when it involves someone already under scrutiny. That dynamic feeds itself. More scrutiny leads to more incidents being highlighted, which leads to more scrutiny. Breaking that cycle typically requires either a deliberate change in approach or enough time passing without incident for perception to reset. Neither of those has happened yet for Hosvar. So where does this actually go from here? Is this simply the growing pains every young, aggressive driver faces on their way to becoming a veteran the garage eventually respects? Plenty of now-respected champions went through similar reputational rough patches early in their careers before earning trust over time. Or is Hosvar creating cracks in the garage that won't heal on their own, the kind of tension that follows a driver for years and shapes how every future incident gets judged? Neither the drivers voicing frustration nor the fans defending him seem willing to back down, and Michigan may not be the last flashpoint in this story. If you enjoy real NASCAR breakdowns like this, you'll like what's coming next. Let us know in the comments where you land on this one. Is Hosvar the future of hard racing, or is the garage right to be cautious? Drop your take below, and if this story resonated with you, share it with another NASCAR fan who'd want to weigh in too.